Welcome to a discussion of the pros and cons for the 2022 ballot measures, brought to you by the League of Women Voters of Diablo Valley and St. Mary's College. Let's talk about Proposition 30. The wording on this initiative statute is provides funding for programs to reduce air pollution and prevent wildfires by increasing tax on personal income over $2 million. Here's some background information. California is experiencing severe drought with increasing wildfires and poor air quality. Most people think that drought is caused in large part by global warming. Gas-powered cars and wildfire smoke are the two largest sources of greenhouse gas, or GHG, in the state. Both also contribute to poor air quality. State law requires California to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions level to 40% below 1990 levels by 2030. State law also requires ride-sharing companies such as Lyft and Uber to have 90% of their drivers using zero-emission vehicles, or ZEVs, by 2030. Further, a current plan was just issued by the governor on August 25th indicating that by 2035, 100% of new vehicles sold must be ZEVs. The state recently committed to spending $10 billion over the next 5 years on ZEVs, and is currently spending between $2 and $4 billion annually on wildfire response. The money from Prop 30 would be in addition to this. Costs for wildfire suppression and prevention are increasing as the fires become more catastrophic. Proposition 30 proposes an increase of the income tax rate by 1.75% on individual incomes above $2 million. Currently, income over $1 million is taxed 1% to fund mental health programs. The current marginal income tax rate in California is 12.3% on people filing jointly for income over $1.25 million. If Proposition 30 passes, the rate will be 15.05% for each dollar above $2 million in income. This rate is higher than any other state in the U.S. The tax increase would end on January 1st, 2043, or earlier if there are 3 consecutive years when California greenhouse gas emissions are 80% below 1990 levels. The allocation of the net funds from Proposition 30 would be the following: 45% to promote purchase of ZEVs, including subsidies and rebates, 35% to increase availability of electric charging stations, 20% to help fund wildfire suppression and prevention. Further, Proposition 30 stipulates that at least 50% of funds allocated for ZEVs and zero-emission vehicle charging must primarily benefit low-income and disadvantaged communities. It also requires that CalFire hire and train additional firefighters as their top priority. The fiscal impact on the state is that Proposition 30 would generate $2.8 to $4 billion for ZEV funding and $700 million to $1 billion for wildfire response. These revenues could increase over time. Those supporting Proposition 30 say that existing programs are insufficient to address California's poor air quality due to automobile exhaust and wildfire smoke. So, there's a critical need for revenue to initiate more programs to make electric vehicles more affordable and to prevent catastrophic wildfires that are destroying homes. They claim that there will be strict accountability to ensure that these funds are spent as intended. Lyft is a main proponent of this proposition. Many environmentalists say that Lyft's involvement is tangential to the real existential threat posed by climate change for everyone. Supporters say that this is a Robin Hood type of ballot measure that's trying to fund financial incentives to help those people who don't now have the means to buy an electric car. Those opposing Proposition 30 say that California is already investing more than $50 billion in climate issues, including $10 billion for zero-emission vehicles, and that additional funds can be paid from the state's budget surplus. Opponents also say that there is no guarantee that Proposition 30 will make zero-emission vehicles affordable for most Californians. Another criticism by opponents is that Proposition 30 locks in money from income taxes to special interests, keeping it away from school funding, which normally relies on these income tax revenues. And they claim that Proposition 30 is Lyft's attempt to get taxpayers to help foot the bill for requiring an increase in the number of electric vehicles used. Some of the organizations supporting Proposition 30 are Lyft Corporation, California Democratic Party, National Resources Defense Council, Union of Concerned Scientists, California State Firefighters, and the American Lung Association. Individuals supporting Proposition 30 include U.S. Representatives Ro Khanna, Barbara Lee, and Tom Steyer, president of NextGen Climate. Contributions for Proposition 30 total around $15.5 million as of September 11, 2022, with the largest contributor being Lyft at $15 million. Some of the organizations opposing Proposition 30 are Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, California Small Business Association, California Teachers Association, and Republican Party of California. Governor Gavin Newsom also opposes this proposition, saying it's fiscally irresponsible and puts the profits of a single corporation ahead of the welfare of the entire state. As of September 10, 2022, there's been $8 million in funding against Proposition 30. We've done our best to give you a researched overview of this proposition, but please be aware that there will continue to be updates and additional information. We encourage you to visit the websites of Ballotpedia, the California Secretary of State, Easy Voter, and Voters Edge to stay informed. Thank you very much, and please remember to vote.